Vince McMahon accused of sexually abusing, defecating on former WWE employee. He pooped on her head? Welcome back to the JP Reacts channel, my beautiful freedom-loving friend, where we like to call out the lies, hypocrisy, and corruption of tyrants and Satan, shine the light of awareness on woke absurdities, and highlight the amazing work of other freedom fighters. This story about Vince McMahon, some horrendous allegations, everything from sexual assault, sex trafficking, pooping on a lady's head. These are all allegations at this point. They might be true, they may not be, I don't know. We will report on them as allegations because that's what they are. But this story caught my attention because one, I don't think anybody wants to see anybody getting violated, and if there's predators in the world, they need to be called out. And I grew up a fan of the WWF back then, child of the 80s. I stopped watching it when the WWF switched to only being on cable. As a kid, we didn't have cable, so I simply couldn't watch it anymore. I remember when I was a kid. I'd watch Hulk Hogan, The Ultimate Warrior. My favorite was Bret the Hitman Hart. Those were the good old days. Same Vince McMahon. Now he is a 78-year-old dude accused of absolutely heinous things. Is Vince McMahon the new Harvey Weinstein? I don't know, you be the judge, but probably more importantly, let the judge in the court case be the actual judge. We'll go through the allegation. Let's get started. So this former WWE employee, Janelle, that you can see here, this is the accuser, accusing Vince McMahon of these things. Vince McMahon's disturbing explicit text messages leaked from his sexual abuse and sex trafficking lawsuit. Now what's interesting, if we dig a little bit deeper, old Vincey boy had Janelle sign a non-disclosure agreement, which basically means like, hey, whatever you did, what was done to you, you can't tell anybody. Here is $3 million with the NDA. Don't tell anybody. So Grant's lawsuit said that McMahon made her sign a non-disclosure agreement in exchange for $3 million in 2022 to keep her quiet about their relationship. Which, by the way, all allegations at this point, but that kind of makes him seem guilty, doesn't it? But this lawsuit comes now. One reason, after a payment of $1 million, he stopped paying her, according to the lawsuit. So, like being an open-minded person, let's just live in a world where maybe they had a very non-perverse yet consensual sexual relationship, would be immoral because he was married and, that's an employee. That's not a good dynamic. It's not. Like, let's just get clear. I'm not endorsing that dynamic. Let's just say all that is not true. An open mind would say, okay, maybe this lady, she was in complete control, consented to it. Maybe she is just money hungry because she said, yeah, I will shut the hell up for $3 million. Cool, Vince, you gave me $1 million. Where's the rest? It's not coming? Cool. Here's a lawsuit so I can get more money. I don't know. Just an open mind. I don't have the answers. I'm just asking the questions at this point. Grant's lawsuit alleged that McMahon put her through sexual acts that were done with extreme cruelty and degradation. WWE's former head of talent relations, John Laurinaitis, was also named in the lawsuit. Before we get to more heinous things, here's what Vince McMahon says. The 78-year-old McMahon denied the claims from Grant, which is something you do when you're innocent. Probably something you do when you're guilty as well. I intend to vigorously defend myself against these baseless accusations and look forward to clearing my name, he said in a statement. Now, a couple things that work against Vincey boy. This ain't the first time he's had sexual harassment type allegations against him. And also he has just now stepped down as the CEO and chairman of the board from the WWE. Vince McMahon accused of sexually abusing and defecating on former WWE employee. Let me tell you something about pooping on someone. I'm all about freedom, whatever kind of consensual sexual stuff you like to do. I may not think it's a great idea, but that's for you to do if that's what you enjoy, as long as it's consensual. But I will say, someone who gets aroused by pooping on other people, that's not a sexual kink. I would guess 100% of all people who sexually enjoy either being pooped on or doing the pooping are mentally defective. Here's what I mean by that. At an instinctual level, the human being knows, oh, like once poop is out of the body, like don't touch it because it's just like a bacteria petri dish that can like literally kill you. Like if you have a perforated colon, your poop leaks out into your body, like you'll die pretty quick. In order to deny that basic survival instinct, I would dare say whoever is getting off on doing the pooping or being pooped on, they're coming from a place of unresolved trauma. I would guess 100% of the time, the poopers and poopies, what they're doing is replicating a level of shame that's unresolved. We always replicate internal patterns within ourselves. So I project that onto someone else. I make them the helpless one. And the poop is the symbol of I have power over you. I'm disrespecting you. I'm shaming you. I project out what was done to me so that I can be more in denial of what was done to me. So I don't have to live in the vulnerability of actually working through my trauma. That kind of thing. I think that's probably the case with 100% of all like poop sexual people. Poop is not good for your immune system. Like, let's just get through that. It's not good for your body. Before we get to more on this story, I do want to tell you about something that is good for your immune system. Fierce Immunity by Rebel Lion. This is the most potent immune system formula on the market that I have ever seen in terms of both strengthening and rebuilding your immunity. Here's why that matters to me. I love freedom, you love freedom. But if you don't have your health, you don't have the foundation of your freedom. And I believe the immune system, that is the backbone of our health. And therefore, it's like the Bill of Rights to the freedom of our health. So having the strongest natural immunity that you can possibly have, to me, it's very important because our freedom truly does rest on it. Whether it's with natural born illnesses, we don't want to be sick and wiped out, it ruins the day, ruins our week, and it just sucks. Or there's potential, engineered things coming our way. Fierce immunity is something I take every day. It's easy, it's quick, and especially on top of a healthy lifestyle of exercise, good food, good sleep, it creates a lot of amplification of my immune system. That's my experience. And here's what impressed me most about Fierce Immunity. Its formulation is based on a test of all the different natural ingredients available across every single system in the human body. What came back from that test was over 1 trillion different data points. That's a lot of data. And what that data showed is the very ingredients in Fierce Immunity are the most potent immune builders and strengtheners. That's how the formula was created. But it doesn't stop there. Not only were these individual ingredients found to be the most potent immune strengtheners and rebuilders, but how the ingredients synergistically work together creates an amplification effect, which gives you even stronger immunity than just the individual ingredients working alone. It's kind of like united we stand, divided we fall. Well, these ingredients united, our immune system stands very tall, very strong. And if health, freedom, and therefore a strong immune system is important to you, the time has never been better to get yourself Fierce Immunity, because right now Rebel Lion is running a special where you get a free bottle of Fierce Immunity with your purchase. So instead of being a sheep who just sits around hoping for good health, if you're a lion that takes control of your health, you can go to getfiercenow.com/JP to get yourself some Fierce Immunity. And for a limited time, you get a free bottle with your purchase. That's getfiercenow.com/JP. Discount code JP. It's time to get fierce. And for others, it's time to get caught doing what you were doing. Allegedly. So Vince McMahon offered this lady Janelle a job in 2019, and she alleges he soon made it clear that she'd be required to engage in a physical relationship with him, Laurinaitis, like another WWE executive, and others, including the show's talent. Grant felt pressured to comply, she said, especially as McMahon dangled career-making, life-changing promises in front of her. So, again, living in the world, this is all allegations. Someone who's in a position of power and then an employee under them, that is a disproportionate position not okay to have any level of sexual conduct. Can it be consensual? Yes, but is there an unfair power dynamic at play that sets you up to potential criminal stuff and just like it's terribly inappropriate power play? Yes. During her subsequent time in the WWE, McMahon allegedly subjected Grant to acts of extreme cruelty and degradation, causing her to dissociate and or become numb to reality in order to survive. That's a trauma response. One particularly disturbing encounter in the lawsuit occurred in May 2022 or 2020 when McMahon defecated on Ms. Grant during a threesome and then commanded her to continue pleasuring his friend with feces in her hair and running down her back, while McMahon went to the bathroom to shower off. In another incident at WWE headquarters, Grant alleges both McMahon and Laurinaitis forced her behind a locked door and sexually assaulted her. She begged them to stop, but they forced themselves on her, each taking turns restraining her for the others while saying, "No means yes." That's very 1984 of them. Heinous allegations, and if these allegations are in fact true, does this guy deserve to be in jail for the rest of his pathetic life? Yes. I do hope the truth comes out. Now, speaking of things come out, text messages. These are the alleged text messages between Vince McMahon and Janelle. And by the way, if these are true, and you'll hear some of what Vince McMahon says, some of it's like just so disgustingly graphic, I'm not even gonna read them here. But if they are true, Vince McMahon is a complete idiot. Like, this is just a literal paper trail that says, "I'm guilty." Okay, I'm actually just going to read all of them, and I'm going to let my editor edit what needs to be edited out. Following the threesome on May 11th, 2020, McMahon sent an this is times of COVID. Yeah, this is not the time to be having threesome, people. We need social distancing. McMahon sent an explicit message to Ms. Grant that further detailed his fantasies of seeing her engaged in sexual relations. Vince McMahon, allegedly, is very preoccupied with getting his friends and fellow male co-workers involved with her sexually. Like, he's like very concerned about other people having sexual relations with her. And I think in the allegations, that's where the sex trafficking allegations come from. After the threesome began, McMahon became more sadistic and his fantasies focused on control, such as choking, sensory deprivation, pain, humiliation, and group scenarios in which Ms. Grant was to be physically overwhelmed and subservient. Based on this alleged text, this alleged person, Vince, is apparently very preoccupied about other guys ejaculating. It's like that's more on his mind than a woman. Next alleged text, the context. Around this time, McMahon openly shared explicit photographs and salacious stories about Ms. Grant with WWE crew at TV tapings, a group McMahon also referred to as her fan club. Indeed, McMahon exuberantly messaged her a truthful story of just having shared explicit content of her with a group of 12 men on the WWE tech crew and recounted obscene details he shared with them. Yeah, it's getting graphic. I'm not actually going to read this. The paraphrase, I already did, but I'm not going to read it out loud. The paraphrase is, now this text is all about Vince McMahon allegedly wanting these 12 crew members to have their way with her basically all at the same time. And he's, again, very preoccupied with scenarios of these men ejaculating. Vince McMahon loves other men ejaculating. Allegedly. Now, before we wrap up this disgusting story, the New York Post has an article entitled Vince McMahon Assaulted Ex-Employee with Sex Toys Named After WWE Wrestlers Defecated on Her Head During Threesome Bombshell Suit. Now, down just a little ways in that article, here's what it says. A subsequent investigation found that McMahon paid $14.6 million to several women who accused him of sexual misconduct. So, if that's true, that would indicate Vince McMahon was guilty of something before. Doesn't mean he's necessarily guilty of this, but it doesn't make him look more innocent, does it? But the plot thickens like a Pfizer blood clot. because now the WWE, it's actually owned by a bigger company. Last year, Endeavor, that's the bigger company, the talent agency run by Ari Emanuel, completed a $21.4 billion merger with the WWE. TKO Group, the merged entity that combines WWE and UFC, said in a regulatory filing on Tuesday that WWE's weekly television show Raw will move to Netflix next year as part of a major streaming deal worth more than $5 billion. Okay, so there's basically, for WWE, there's a $5 billion deal with Netflix, and there's already a $21.4 billion merger they've been a part of with Endeavor. And these allegations against Vince McMahon don't make the WWE look good. And should these allegations be proven to be true through due process, these two companies might want to be distancing themselves from the WWE. The WWE isn't more than just Vince McMahon. Yes, he's built it. I mean, his hands have been all over it. And yes, Vince McMahon has stepped down to distance himself from the WWE. But oftentimes, I've never done a $21 billion merger, but oftentimes in contracts, there's clauses for misconduct and things like that make the other party, like if you're the bad party and there's the other party, if you're the bad party, you do something bad, that obviously reflects poorly on the other party. So a lot of times contracts have severance clauses, like if you screw up, we can actually distance ourselves because you could actually devalue us just by association. Hopefully they allow due process to happen, because we live in a world of cancel culture where you are absolutely guilty unless you're proven innocent. But in the law of the land, you are innocent until proven guilty. And if you are guilty, I do hope you are proven guilty. So the jury's out on Vince McMahon. Due process has to happen. Yet what we can say is these allegations are absolutely ugly. Let me know what you think about the situation in the comments below. And I think it's a reminder to check our egos about power. There's the old saying, absolute power corrupts absolutely. The human ego is something we all have. Left unchecked, it becomes very tyrannical. It wants to have power and control over other people, and sexual misconduct is one way it can be expressed. But freedom lovers don't do that. Freedom lovers realize my power is meant to maintain the sovereignty of myself. If I inflict my power over other people, I'm behaving like a tyrant and infringing on those freedoms. Therefore, I'm not upholding freedom in the world. I am tarnishing it and eroding it. So, thank you for watching, my friends. I appreciate you, and I'll look forward to seeing you on our next video. And also, feel free to grab yourself Fierce Immunity right now. You get a free bottle with your purchase while supplies last, limited time only. GetFierceNow.com/JP. Time to get fierce, my friends.